The culture of Great Britain, much like its history, is extraordinarily rich in all sorts of peculiarities. Left-hand traffic, the peculiar male attire, the kilt, a bag of wool on the Lord Speaker's chair in the House of Lords, all of these are quite unusual. But you've probably heard about all of this already. In this video, we'll try to tell you about a few interesting facts that you might hear for the first time. British laws have a long and complex history. There's no written constitution here, and you can find quite a few quirks in legislation. For example, the Act of Parliament mandating the use of English in state courts was written in French. Formally, there's still a law in the country requiring every man over 14 to spend at least 2 hours a week practicing archery. And again, the French language. The British coat of arms bears the inscription, Dieu et mon droit, which is in French. At first glance, this fact might seem strange, especially when considering the 100 Years' War between France and England, which left a significant mark on the cultures of the warring nations. But it all makes sense when you remember that before this war, English was the language of the commoners and was rarely used in educated society, while French was spoken by the aristocracy as their native language, and English was not known. Returning after a successful attack, British submarines hoist the Jolly Roger. Admiral Arthur Wilson once declared that the use of submarines was dastardly, un-English, and by God, not cricket. In 1914, Captain Max Horton, remembering these words, ordered a pirate flag to be made and raised it upon entering port after sinking a German cruiser with his submarine E-9. This playful practice has turned into a tradition, which is still observed today, for example, during military operations in Libya. When someone leaves without saying goodbye, it's a custom worldwide to say they've gone English. Interestingly, in England, they say gone French in such cases. And the origin of both expressions is common. During the 7 Years' War, the English and the French mockingly referred to each other this way, specifically about soldiers in the enemy army who left their positions without permission and secretly. The English town of Swindon is famous for its roundabouts, which are considered some of the most complicated in the world. The most famous is the Magic Roundabout, located at the intersection of 5 roads and consisting of a central 2-lane roundabout with 5 smaller roundabouts spokes attached to it. In the English city of Exeter, there's a street claiming to be the narrowest in the world. The length of this street, proudly named Parliament Street, is 50 meters, and its width at the narrowest point is only 64 centimeters. Windsor Castle in Berkshire County is the oldest functioning royal residence in Europe. English, and later British, monarchs have lived here since the 11th century. Moreover, considering that more than 500 people live and work here continuously, Windsor Castle is recognized as the largest inhabited castle in the world. The place with the longest name in Europe is in Wales. Llanfairpwllgwyngyl Gogerich Lenticilio Gogagok. You might think a cat walked across the keyboard, but no. This is the name of a large village. Translated, this unreadable word means St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near the Rapid Whirlpool and St. Tacilio's Church by the Red Cave. It is believed that such a name was invented in the 1960s by a local resident specifically to attract tourists. The world's first jigsaw puzzle appeared in England in 1769. It was invented by cartographer John Spilsbury. Initially, the puzzle was not for entertainment but for education, and it was a cut-up map of Europe's individual states. One of the pioneers of the circus in its modern form is considered to be the Englishman Philip Astley. In particular, it was he who, in 1768, invented the modern circus arena, determining through trial and error that a platform with a diameter of 13 meters was best suited for horse racing in a circle. The Great Pyramid of Giza was considered the tallest structure on Earth until 1311 when English architects surpassed this record. Lincoln Cathedral held the record for height until 1549 when a storm toppled its main spire, and the title passed to St. Olaf's Church in Tallinn. All unmarked mute swans on the Thames are considered property of the king. By law, British monarchs have owned these birds since the 12th century when swan meat was considered a delicacy. Agent 007, James Bond. Actually, a bus. It is believed that Ian Fleming used a bus route near his home as inspiration for James Bond's code name. Bus 007 ran from Canterbury to the Kent coast. It would be amusing if Bond traveled not in luxury cars but on ordinary buses even in the movies. What interesting facts about Great Britain do you know? Share in the comments.